Welcome to the Mind Myself podcast. I'm Esther, and it is my pleasure to be bringing you information about healthcare approaches, health issues, and people's health journey stories, all from the complementary, holistic, and integrative perspectives, helping you become your own best health advocate and helping you make your own informed choices because you matter. Welcome to Conversations with E. I'm Esther, founder and CEO of Mind Myself, and it is my pleasure to welcome our guest with us today, talking about safety and the nervous system. Welcome, Lisa Cipparone.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Lisa, as we get started, so people have a sense of that. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you love it?
So I am an entrepreneur in the health and wellness industry. I have been a yoga teacher for about 23 years and trainer. I am an energy healer, Reiki master teacher. I'm a nervous system reset practitioner, and I am currently in school studying expressive arts psychotherapy.
Fabulous. And what do you love about that massive toolkit you have?
I love that it all weaves together in a beautiful way. Like what I've been doing from yoga involves movement, expressive arts involve movement. So I love that everything I've really done in my entrepreneurial career, from visual arts, healing arts, all kind of really beautifully melds together and supports everything I do.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, we're going to talk today about safety. Before we jump into that, let's do an actual definition. We all hear that term, safety, security. What does safety mean to you in this context?
So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because people often say, I've created a safe space for you, and that's lovely. And if the person doesn't feel safe at a cellular level, at a felt sense level, with a felt sense experience of safety, then they're not safe. So as a yoga teacher, I used to create a safe space for restorative yoga or yoga nidra. I would light candles and have my room really pretty and smell really nice, but I wouldn't necessarily know how that experience would be felt in someone else's body. So a felt sense of safety needs to be an internalized felt sense of safety. They need to feel safe from the inside, not necessarily just their surroundings.
And if somebody feels safe, what does that look like?
Oh, so they can socially engage. So you and I can have a conversation. We can go out and meet for lunch. They feel comfortable in their body, at ease in their body to experience the world around them. They can be in what's called social engagement.
And is it possible to feel safe just on your own too? How would you
Oh
fit
yeah.
that into the
Oh,
conversation?
definitely. Yeah. And you can do different things to help you feel safe in your own environment as well. And we can do that in a little bit. But yes,
Great.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how do we lose our sense of safety? I mean, there's some obvious things, crisis, trauma, but how do we lose our sense of safety?
Yeah. So after a traumatic event, a chronic stress, what tends to go first is our felt sense of safety, is that experience of feeling safe in our body. So if you can imagine for a minute a temperature gauge, and on the bottom is that nice social engagement experience. And then we have different things that can come up when we have chronic stress, maybe a traumatic event, no matter how big or small: worry, confusion, upset, anger, rage, frustration, and overwhelm. So we can begin to ride up that scale. And if we can't come back down, then we're in that place of feeling either overwhelmed, and that sense of safety really gets depleted.
Wow. And what's the job of the nervous system in terms of safety? Let's dive into that first.
Yeah, so I like to use the analogy of a lighthouse. So the nervous system is like a lighthouse. It searches for danger. Our nervous system is always looking outwardly and in a sensual way, through sensations, to see if and feel if our environment is safe. So like a lighthouse, it looks all around to see if there's any danger. And if there's no danger, then we can actually relax and settle in. And if you've been experiencing chronic stress or have had some kind of traumatic experience and you're up on that temperature gauge, if you're up higher, then your nervous system can become repatterned and rewired, and it can adapt. So in that situation, we expect danger. We expect a threat. Instead of being in that social engagement place and being able to have a fluid experience in our nervous system, our baseline has shifted up higher. So that sense of safety is no longer there, or if it is there, it's a much smaller amount. Yeah.
And if somebody isn't in tune to their body, let's just say, because we
Yeah.
tend to often live in our heads
Yeah.
and we think of our body. People will hear me say this, that our body's an inconvenient receptacle that we have to water and feed and house
Yeah.
and breathe and etc. But it's not. It's this intricate part of our whole being, body, mind, spirit. If
Mhm.
somebody isn't connected so deeply to their body, how would they recognize the signs that their nervous
Mm.
system might be telling them?
Yeah. So our body communicates to us through sensation. The language of our body is sensation. And what we've never really been taught is, what do these sensations mean? So we can talk about what activation can feel like in the body and what settling can feel like in the body. So just for an example, our breathing can become really rapid when we get activated, and then when we are able to settle, it settles down. It's much more relaxed and expansive breathing. We can have bracing in our muscles, clenching, and then when we settle, we're much more relaxed. We can feel really hot or really cold if we're activated, and then our temperature shifts back. We can have brain fog if we're activated, and then we can have really clear thinking when we're not. So a lot of physiological things come up when we get activated. Even boredom and defensiveness are experiences of activation. So our physiology communicates to us and wants us to know, hey, I'm not feeling great right now. I need you to really listen to me. And because we're often in our head, we don't pick up on these cues. We tend to kind of ignore them and push through them. So it's really good to come and check in with your body to see how you feel, see what sensations are coming up, and see what you can do about that and how you can bring yourself back to an experience of settling and coming back to that felt sense of safety.
This might be just a slight tweak on what you've said, but what are a few tips or tricks for
Mm.
someone who's a bit disconnected to begin
Yeah.
check in with their body?
Yeah.
What start?
So, well, you could do a body scan. That's a good way to start. Just simply becoming aware, having your awareness kind of like scan through your whole body. And you can feel into and check into if you're clenching, if your breath has become really shallow or rapid. So you can have some space and time to check in with your body. One of the tools I really like to bring forward are called sensory explorations. So we're exploring the different sensations in our body. Do you want to walk through one with me and we can see how
Yeah,
you feel? Yeah?
let's do it.
Okay, good. So before we do that, I'm going to bring in a tool called the safety scale. So a safety scale you can visualize as a 10-point scale on a horizontal plane. One can feel, I feel fantastic, and 10 can feel, I feel terrible. And if that feels off to you, you can switch that, and 10 can feel, I feel fantastic. And then one can feel, I feel terrible. So, with that awareness, let me know how you feel in this moment.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being great and 10 being awful,
Yeah.
specify that. I'm
Yes.
about an 8.5 today. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
No, I'm at about a 1.5.
you want, okay. So, you're feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, good. That's great.
Sorry, I'm
So,
used to the other way. I'm used to
right.
the
So, this is
ending.
why I said you can
Yeah,
reverse it. You can redo it whichever
yeah,
way feels natural for you, right?
yeah.
So, like that lighthouse experience, I talked about how the lighthouse looks all around us. If we give our body the opportunity to look outside, to externally orient, externally focus, it might shift how that safety scale feels. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through our external orientation exercise.
Okay.
So all I want you to do is take stock of everything in your room. And I want you to turn your head and look around you. Look at everything in your space. Look at all the different objects in your room. Listen to things that are happening around you, maybe smells, a scent that's coming in, and just take a few moments to take stock of everything around you. So we're orienting to the space. And then if you find something that's interesting for you with no story attached, for example, if you find a visual cue, look at that a little bit longer. Just take a few moments to look at something or listen or smell something a little bit longer. You can look at the texture, the color, if you're looking at something, how it could feel in your hand. And then check in with your body and let me know how you feel on that safety scale. Did that experience bring you closer to a feeling of safety, closer to maybe a 1, or away and closer to that 10 number?
I would say it brought me closer to the one, closer.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So you were
Present.
able to, yeah,
Present.
you're present. You've settled your nervous system. You gave it an opportunity to look around and go, yeah, this is a safe space for me. I can now settle into my space. I can come into that social engagement experience. My breathing can settle. My muscles can relax. My whole body can just settle into where I am. And that's a beautiful dialogue with your nervous system, right? It's just communicated to you through the physiological changes it made with that settling. And now you feel, yeah, I feel calmer. I've just cultivated a really beautiful feeling of safety. Yeah.
That's beautiful. It strikes me that somebody may be watching this at some point who is not in a physical environment of safety. And what would your advice be? First and foremost, before you can address what's going on internally, how would you address that situation of unsafe?
Well, if they're not able to leave, I would have them do what we just did. I
Okay.
would have them look around the space that they're in, see and allow their body to orient to the space, first of all. Perhaps look for an exit, right? But
Mhm.
once they're able to come back into their body and kind of out of that brain, because when we go into a bit of a shutdown, our brain doesn't work anymore. The prefrontal cortex kind of shuts off. So if we give our body the chance to look around the room, orient to the space, cultivate a little bit of awareness, of more in the body, and find an exit, leave, call the police, if it's that bad, if it's just that they're feeling activated, but the actual environment itself is okay, then external orienting, external focusing is really powerful. If touch is a good experience, you can combine touching with that external focusing as well. Yeah.
I like that. And I noticed a couple of moments ago you did this. So
Yeah.
if
Did
somebody
I?
is doing that, you did. And I went,
Yeah.
okay, and that's a really good thing to get yourself into your body, either that or
Yes.
maybe even just caress
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, so that's called tactile focusing. So we can tactilely focus as well. I often hold on to a crystal. I hold on to little things that make me feel comfortable. So this is tactile focusing. There's internal focusing as well. There's different explorations that I move through with someone in my nervous system reset program, to help them build that toolbox of safety to support the cultivation of that sense of safety for themselves. So yeah, tactile focusing is really beautiful.
And who would most benefit from your nervous system reset? Who are you most looking to work with?
Yeah, it's hard to say because everyone has experienced some form of chronic stress, traumatic event. We've all, a lot of us are living in survival mode, but we're not aware of it because we've normalized how we feel. We've normalized that anxiety. We've normalized that racing heart. We've normalized that feeling of being rushed. We think we're just really, really busy. So anyone who feels as if they are not able to settle and relax and come into that experience of, oh, I feel relaxed now, I feel safe and comfortable. If you're not able to really downregulate your nervous system and you think you might be living in chronic stress, in survival mode, in that fight, flight, freeze, or fawning experience, that's someone I want to be able to help because I was there too. I woke up to my trauma and lived that way as well for many, many, many years, if not a lot of my years. And it is life-changing work when you are able to shift your experience in the world and how you show up in the world. When you're able to down-regulate your nervous system, have a toolbox of resources that are your own, so you can heal yourself daily and find and support your experience in the world. Someone who's ready to do that, someone who's woken up to their own trauma and their own stress, I want to help them as I was helped as well in this work. Yeah.
That is so wonderful and beautiful. And given the enormous toolkit you have, what a beautiful experience it's going to be working with you, Lisa.
Thank you.
So, what is something you'd like to leave your listener with today?
You can heal yourself. With support, with tools, you will be able to have the ability to heal yourself. So for example, if we go through the program together, I give you all the things, all the tools that you need, and you are the gift. You are the healer of yourself. It's just about remembering that you are your own healer. Yeah.
Remembering that you are your own healer. That is so beautiful. Thank you for being our guest today, Lisa, on the Conversations with the E podcast. And we do this because you matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us at the Mind Myself podcast today. We know that time is precious and you've spent some of your valuable time with us. We're grateful. If you would like to reach out to our guest directly, the information is below. And if you would like more from Mind Myself, that information is also below. Please visit our website and check out all the information about the different complementary, holistic, and integrative healthcare approaches, information about health issues, more podcasts, tons of blogs, and we even have a community page for you where you could reach out and tell your story safely, or you could ask questions and perhaps somebody else in the world is going through something similar to you. In any case, we're so glad you're with us, and we're doing this because you matter.